Yo, chapter 2 and 3, read along. Hey man, nothing else to say. Let's just get right into it. Alright. The Tales of Romanji, chapter 2. When they went home and knocked on the door, their mom opened it and rushed to them, hugging them both, crying, "Are you guys hurt?" "We're good," they replied, smiling, happy to be home. Their mom panicked at the wound around their neck and sat them on the couch. Layla came running and jumped in between them, her 5-year-old body jumping around the couch. "There was a big elephant," she said enthusiastically. "It was cool, right, Mommy?" Trey and Romanji smiled at her innocence. "Imagine if it was a bear," she continued, her hyperactive energy. "You guys should have seen it." "Come now, Layla, mix these with me," their mom said. The two mixed some herbs together for the wounds on the boys' necks. The herbs amounted to a brown cream that matched their skin tone. When she applied the cream, Romanji wouldn't stop looking at her. He eyed her long wavy black hair, her brown eyes and brown skin. He just felt so bad for her. "Yes, Romanji? Do I have something on my face?" she chuckled. "Nah, Ma," Romanji said. He saw himself in her. He thought about all the possible things that could have happened to her. He wouldn't have been able to defend her, and it just didn't sit right with him. The cream soothed their pain, but made scarring there more prominent. But the two didn't mind. They saw it as a memory engraved onto their skin. The thoughts became too much for Romanji. He asked to sit on the porch to enjoy the bit of the good they had left, the sunset. Trey followed. They went outside to the porch to enjoy the last of the sunset, quietly. Trey was lost in thought as well. They sat in the dead silence, just thinking about what just happened. They didn't even notice the sunset today until the sky became dark. The sky went dark suddenly, covering the sunset. It was pitch black with no working streetlights in the neighborhood. Romanji and Trey knew this was strange. This had never happened before during the sunset. "What now?" Trey said, looking up at the dark sky. They heard flapping, then a loud horn. Romanji stood up, tense. Something flew by in the sky so big they couldn't make out what it was. The wind was strong enough to make Romanji stumble. The events from earlier began to rush into Romanji's mind, his heart beating faster and faster until the thing flew by completely. The sky had papers falling from it, slowly and gently. One flew right in front of them, and Romanji looked at it skeptically. "It's just paper," Trey said, getting up to grab it. They began to read it out loud at the same time while standing on the porch. "Welcome to the Universal Tournament. Everyone and anything is welcome. You will receive many things if you win, including immense money, power, and status. P.S. You will not be disappointed in the prize. Come and fight. Warning. Death is permitted. Date, 3 years from now. Location, Bandiwengi. The rotation of the tournament, to be known." Romanji's eyes lit up. "Yo, Trey, you trying to go? You trying to go, bro?" Romanji said, jumping off the porch with excitement. "Nah," Trey said, simply shrugging it off, sitting back down. "Come on, this is an opportunity." Trey stayed quiet. "You scared?" Romanji taunted him. "Dude, I just don't want to get killed, man," Trey yelled. Annoyed, he didn't want to talk about it. "Man, I'm not trying to go alone," Romanji pleaded. "Then don't go," Trey replied. "Come on, Trey, let's do this." Trey took a deep breath and paced around, then walked to the door. "Bro, this is a life or death situation. I just can't say yes like that." "Sorry, man." Trey began to open the brown door to go back into the house. "I'm finna go make some wings. You want some?" "Dang, so you're just gonna let me go on my own?" Romanji looked sad. "Why are you even going anyways? You don't even have powers," Trey yelled. "Wow, don't go there, bruh. You can't even control yours. You got levitation powers but can barely pick up a cup." Trey walked out from the porch and got him in Romanji's face. "It saved you against that elephant, dude. And at least I have power. You powerless." Trey screamed as he threw a heavy right hook, which connected with the jaw of Romanji. Romanji fell, holding his cheek. He was surprised Trey never dropped him by a punch before. "Stay home," Trey yelled at him. Romanji spit a little bit of blood and quietly got up, murmuring, I, what you want to do?" Romanji threw a heavy right hook of his own, which left Trey lying on his back, struggling to get back up. Romanji, sort of abnormally strong for his age, so the punch really did a number on Trey. Romanji yelled back, "We finally have an opportunity to become something, to do something. Tell the truth, are you happy with the situation we're in?" Trey got up in pain. "No," he said, "but we're 16, weak, and from the alleys. Let's just rock with what we got." Romanji scoffed. He couldn't believe that Trey was just so comfortable being vulnerable. "I'm going," Romanji said. Romanji tried walking past them into the house. Trey put out his hand to his chest to stop him. Trey put out his hand to his chest, stopping him. "So you're just gonna leave Layla and Mom here? You're supposed to be the man of the house, but you're deciding to go on a stupid adventure?" Trey said with tears in his eyes. "I'm doing this for our family, Trey. You see the situation we're in?" Romanji was tearing up as well. I don't want to be another. I don't want it to be another situation like that with the Elephant Man again." "Jay," Trey said, his voice breaking up, referring to the fact that he had to kill him. "I understand. If something like that happens again, you could have finished the job, Romanji. I'll find another way around it." "This dude," Trey whispers under his breath. He made a disgusted face. "Like you could ever win. Going to a worldwide tournament with no powers." Phew. He spits in the face of he spit in the direction of Romanji. "You must be stupid. So you're doubting me? Is that how it is? Is that how it is now, man?" "I guess so. Powerless." That powerless statement hit a nerve in Romanji. "What you say? I dare you say it again," he said. Trey stopped for a second and he looked at Romanji, who had a fire burning inside of him, a desperate one. He had a pitiful, sad expression of hope. "Weak guy, small eye, whack guy," Trey said, taunting hesitantly. Romanji continued to walk closer to him and said, "Nah, say it again. I dare you say it again." "You powerless." Romanji had enough. He punched him, dropping him again on his back. Then he kicked Trey in the face, who was laying on his back, trying to get up, then got on top of him and started punching on Trey, who was blocking, swinging left, right, until he broke through the block and connected with his face. Romanji continued to hit his face until his face was pinned on the ground. Trey had blood coming out of his nose and the inside of his mouth, and even had a bruised cheek. Romanji stood up, looked at him, and snapped out of his anger, looking down at Trey. He couldn't believe what he just did that. He just did that to his brother. Breathing heavily and feeling bad for what he did, he said in a shaky yet determined voice, "I'm going, man. I'm going to win, too. And when I do, I'm going to change this place. Then we all going to be straight." "Just don't go," Trey cried, laying on his back. Romanji continued walking into the house. He was too weak to get back up. "Jay, Jay." He heard the door close. Romanji went back into the house with no plan. He grabbed his schoolbook bag and dumped everything out very quickly. His mom and Layla were in their room with the TV loud. There was no way Mom was letting me go. And Trey is definitely going to snitch. He tiptoed to the front door. He grabbed the door handle to the front door and opened it. And when he opened it, Trey was coming in. Holding his badly bruised face, he just looked at Romanji dead in the eyes while walking through the door. Trey glared at him, but Romanji could see the hint of sadness in his eyes. Romanji returned the eye contact. Romanji's eyes were filled with guilt after seeing his face. With eyes filled with guilt and remorse, Romanji stared back at Trey's fierce eyes. The tension through the doorway made it seem like time stopped for a few seconds. Their eyes did all the talking. After walking past each other, none of them looked back. They just continued walking. Chapter 3. As Romanji left home with his empty book bag, he thought to himself, "I'm not going to survive this tournament alone. I need him. No, I need someone to help me train and achieve my goal." He was right. "I'm too weak and powerless." Romanji began to get discouraged and sat down on a bench far from his house. But he could still see his house in the distance and started twisting his hair. What am I going to do? He heard footsteps. So he looked up and saw a boy with long, shiny, slick, goldish hair, with a comb in his hand, combing his hair backwards. He stood right in front of Romanji, continuing to comb his hair. "Bro, why are you crying?" he said, laughing. "I'm not even crying," Romanji yelled at the kid, carrying a sword on his hip. "Yes, you are. I see the tears," the boy said, teasing and pointing. "Shut up, kid," Romanji said, wiping away his tears. "I'm not even a kid. I'm 16, the kid said, proudly standing before him. Romanji looked at his strange outfit, the sword on his hip, his silver metal shoes. He noticed that this guy wasn't from here. He definitely would have noticed a kid this bizarre in his hood. Romanji came to the conclusion he was from the other side. So what if I'm crying? Romanji got up. What are you even doing around here? What do you mean? I'm just here. I live here. No, you don't. Don't lie, Romanji said, clenching his fist. The kid nervously smiled, backing away from him. Calm down, man. Yes, I'm from the other side, but we're all one, right? He chuckled some more. Romanji looked at him like, he can't be serious. Go tell yo people that. Romanji shook his head and began to walk away further from him. Whoa, the kid said, exaggerating his movements. I may live there, but those are not my people. Whatever. Dang, the kid said. Are you just rude to everyone? Should have never skipped breakfast then. Romanji actually let out a little laugh. What? He continued walking. The kid took that as an invite and followed him. They walked silently. Romanji was staring at the floor during his walk. It went on for a couple minutes through the damaged, somewhat flooded streets. They walked past the smoking, destroyed houses. The sunset was almost over. So, my name is Flex, the kid said, breaking the silence. And yours? Romanji, he said subtly. Where are you going, Romanji? I don't see a map in your hand, Flex said, pacing around him. You're barely looking up from the ground and your book bag is open. He began to try closing it for Romanji. Yo, why are you even following me? Bothering me. Go on somewhere. The two were now face to face. Romanji's face was tense and annoyed. Flex smiled. I'm bored. No way, Romanji laughed, but he was not necessarily happy, more so confused. So you're telling me you doing all of this out of boredom? Yeah, Flex said. Romanji relaxed his face a bit. I feel it, he said. You heard about the tournament? Romanji added. Now the two were actually walking together. Yeah, I did, Flex said, and I'm going. You think you're gonna win? Romanji asked. Of course, I got this sword, man, just like the holy sword Excalibur. He, br- he brought it out of his case and swung it around. He laughed. Just kidding. My sword is quite legendary. Maybe even better. Can I see it? Romanji asked. Flex told him to put both of his hands out. You just used one hand. Pretty sure I can do it too, Romanji said, so he put one hand out. Flex simply handed it to him. Romanji's hand began shaking. He was about to drop it, then he used his other hand. He looked at Flex, who was of medium weight, no body fat, but barely any muscles either. Flex grabbed his sword back. I told you so. Romanji was smiling in amazement. Flex wielded it with such simplicity. The sunset had ended, and with no working streetlights, it was getting dark, and that's when Romanji noticed his hazel green eyes. Romanji told him that he was also trying to go to the tournament. Why are you so shaky about it? Flex could tell from Romanji's demeanor. Because because you don't have any powers. Well, no one here does, even on my side. So why would you go? Flex started laughing. You must have read over the death is permitted part, Flex laughed. Because just look at our place, especially after the elephant came. If something bad happens again, I won't be able to stop it and no one is going to come save us. Actually, I was trying to. When I saw the elephant land here, I ran to slay it, but by the time I got there, it poofed. Man, I could have really taken it down. Flex went on a tangent. Romanji just stared at him until he finished fantasizing about killing a giant elephant. But I get what you're saying. You rather take a risk of dying to get powerful than basically waiting to die powerless. Something like that, I guess. Alright, I made up my mind. Risky means fun. I'll follow you. Just like that? Romanji raised an eyebrow. Yeah, there wasn't any way I was going with my annoying little brother, so I was just going alone. Romanji hugged him and yelled, Dad, you just hugged me? Flex laughed confused. Romanji smiled. It's just something I do. My bad. Romanji told him that he couldn't go back home, and so Flex offered him to stay at his house. Romanji agreed. Then the two reached the border of his hood, where Romanji gazed at his grandma's house and the rundown board that read, The Alleys. He touched the board, and he dragged his fingers across it until he walked past it. He was in the grass area between the two neighborhoods, and when he stepped into Flex's area, he could no longer see his hood. The darkness took over, and he stopped for a minute to take it all in. What he was doing, why he was doing it. Flex tapped his shoulder, waved at him to get him to snap back into reality. Romanji took a deep breath, and from there, within his heart, he told his hood goodbye.